What's good, YouTube? What's up, PlayStation Nation? The council is here with our first interview. We are interviewing the Blacksea Odyssey devs. You know what I mean? I'm just so excited right now to, introduce you guys to these developers and to the game that they're creating. And hopefully you guys can, share a liking like we also are having with this game. But yeah, let's go right into it. Everybody already know the council members, but we want to introduce the Black Odyssey devs to you guys. So guys, let us know who you are and what do you do.
Hi guys, I'm PJ. I help out with production stuff, business, and programming.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Sean, and I basically do most of the programming, that kind of thing, do a lot of the design, and yeah.
And then we also have Peter, who he's not here with us right now, but he does all the art. Yeah. There he is. He does all the art and animations.
Oh, cool. Definitely gonna have a little question with the art style as well. So Peter, get ready. But yeah, man, Blacksea Odyssey. If you guys don't mind, just take us on a trip about this game. For the people that are clueless about this game, what is this game specifically, and what do you do in this game? What is the goal? What is this game about?
That's a great question. So Blacksea Odyssey is actually a giant competition that takes place once every decade, and it brings all the greatest huntsmen, or imagine fishermen in the entire galaxy, brings them together to this tournament, and they go out and they compete to hunt the biggest and the baddest fish in the universe.
But they're not regular fish, it's space fish, so you're hunting fish while you're in space.
Yeah, so you're actually flying on top of, imagine a surfboard / spaceship, and you've got the spear and you're riding around outer space. So obviously it's completely fictional. And you're hunting these massive space fish, and it's a roguelike, or it's real high intensity. Imagine asteroids or Geometry Wars. Yeah. And then we got a lot of RPG elements. Imagine Diablo or World of Warcraft. So mixing all those elements, you got this fast space shooter where you're out and you're hunting these giant space fish.
Yeah. So the perspective is top down. So we have top down multi-directional shooter, and we mix in roguelike elements such as permadeath, procedural level generation, and things like that.
Oh wow! So you got permadeath in there.
Yes, it is very, very difficult game. A lot of people have fun, but they definitely die a lot while they're playing.
Okay, that's cool. That's a good element for the hardcore guys out there. But yeah, that's cool. Watching the gameplay, I definitely see a lot of you pretty much choose what you want to do. You can go at it fast pace if you want to, because I see a lot of fast paced movements in there. I know Michi he has a question about the customizations and stuff like that. Michi, you want to ask that?
Oh yeah. I saw that there were over 6,500 weapon customizations, and I'm thinking to myself, that's a lot. So are y'all really just pulling our chains with that 6,500 number, or is there really 6,500 weapon combos?
So the way it works, it's a little bit we could technically say there are millions of combos, but it gets to be a little bit ridiculous when you think about it like that. So the way it works is really there's only 150 items, right, in the game, or 200 items in the game, but you can mix and match those items in any sort of combination you want, so that it creates its own custom weapon. So for example, there's attack speed items, and there's split shot, and there's fire damage, ice shot. You could have say 3 ice shot items and put them together, right, and it creates this really big unique ice shot that no one or two would do on its own, and then put a fire one on it as well. So when you think about it like that, and you think about all the different mixing and matching you can do, you can really have 65,000 different customizations. Now we are sort of baiting it a little bit. It won't really feel like there's probably that many, but I guarantee you'll play through the game again and again and again, and every time you play through the game, you're going to get a different weapon. It's going to feel a little different. You're going to get something a little fresh. So that's really kind of what we're going for there with that. Yeah.
I saw the video with the 4 speed bonuses, and I was like, that's crazy. Match other stuff with some speed bonuses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We've already come up with some builds that are if you get lucky enough and you get it, it's kind of ridiculous. A bunch of for example, a bunch of speed ones with a split shot and a chain shot. You can just start throwing spears everywhere, and the map game gets a little crazy at that point. But yeah.
Yeah, we wanted variety. We wanted sometimes you get a little bit lucky where you get a really good set of runes where you're just wow, I feel exceptionally overpowered, because it feels good sometimes every once in a while to get that sort of feeling.
That's sweet, man. It looked like there's some type of RPG elements into the game as far as customization and all that stuff. Are you leveling up as well as you progress through the game, with your character specifically?
So we don't have a direct level system. There's no like specific levels. The main thing is going to be the runes, but we do have things like permanent upgrades. Like for example, like a health upgrade that permanently increase your max health, or a damage upgrade that permanently increase your damage. But there isn't an actual level system that goes in combination with it. It's primarily the runes.
Yeah, we wanted to keep it relatively simple and focus more on the runes. Like in addition to the spear runes, you also have runes for your ship. So you can also upgrade like how your boost cooldown for your ship or how quickly it moves. So we really want to put emphasis on the runes as opposed to like levels.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, I got you now. Oh, so I have one more. I got a question for you guys as well. What really inspired you guys to make this game? From the gameplay aspects to even the art style. Peter, you over there.
All right, so we'll talk about the gameplay real quick. So the idea of it honestly just started as fishing in space, and we decided to prototype the concept at the Global Game Jam this past year in January, and we found we decided to pursue it as a top-down shooter, and eventually we just kind of kept adding things like that. The story and the general idea is heavily inspired by Moby Dick and The Old Man in the Sea. So we wanted that. That's why our main character is an old man. So we wanted that kind of thing and like the nautical aspects. In terms of gameplay, there's tons of games. The rogue light elements came from Binding of Isaac. The RPG elements came from
mostly Path of Exile.
Like Path of Exile. And then Peter, I'll let Peter talk about the art style.
Yeah, so with the art style, I purposely did an art style that I could quickly iterate. I'm the only artist on the game, so I have to create art very quickly. And using large color palettes makes that easier. And it's a very geometric art style. And the main reason behind that is so that it stands out. We wanted a game that as soon as you saw a screenshot, you were like, all right, that's Blacksea Odyssey. You can't confuse it with another game. So it looks very different than most games, and that's our goal with that.
Yeah, one thing we also did to make it unique is the environment. You'll notice it has 2D normal maps. So we played around with lighting to mix with the geometry to really give it a unique feel.
Yeah, this game definitely has a unique look to it, especially like the monsters. When I saw the monsters and you saw the first boss, I was like, all right, this is unique. I can see the difficulty in this game as well, but I'm open for this game for sure, man. I like the art style with the monsters. Where did you get like these concepts with the monsters from?
It's just growing up watching like anime, like Pokemon, Digimon, all those things are in my head, so it's very easy to come up with ideas.
So how we kind of designed is each biome has like a theme. So the crystal biome, based off a lot off of fish. So the ice crusher and the ice piercer is based off of the hammerhead shark or whatnot. Then we have the puffer, which obviously the puffer fish. The desert biome, which we haven't like put out as much as the crystal biome, but it's based more off like insects. We have beetles and spiders. And then the tropical biome, which we haven't really talked about at all, is based off of more like jungle creatures. So like we have like amphibian-like creatures and whatnot. So we pick a theme and then we try and blend it with sci-fi because we don't want to do regular animals because that's just boring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely like an alien type theme with these monsters, but that's cool though. I definitely like it, especially the ripping apart of a part of the monster. That's a definitely new added element that I see. Like games like this, I haven't really seen something like that. A specific game that I enjoyed is a game called Galaxy. I don't know if you heard of that game. From 17-bit guys. Something similar to that, but it didn't have that. It had a similar mechanic, but not the same thing where you can just rip apart a monster, and now the whole dynamic changed with this monster. It might be easier to take it down or stuff like that, which is I thought that was really cool when I first saw this game.
Yeah, for the harpoon mechanic, it's essential to our boss battle. So while it helps in like the regular fish-to-fish combat, it's really essential to defeating bosses. It's how you kill them. It's how you kill them by ripping them apart and whatnot. We're even like down the road, we want to implement something called like a boss fatality. So if you kill them in like a really disgusting way, by using the harpoon, you get like extra score for that level or something.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah, I was listening to you talk about your influences for the game, and it's funny, every game that you said, I could see it in the game after you mentioned it. Like, oh yeah, Finding Isaac, definitely that.
Definitely.
And I'm thinking to myself, and I don't know if you've played this game, but this is one of the reasons why my wife and I love this game. And if this is in your game, we know we're gonna love this too. If you've ever played Race the Sun changes every day. You're not stuck doing the same course every day. So I'm like, that kind of variety in the game, knowing that we'll have to do this competition, because it's good to know the game is a competition. I thought it was more single player, but now it's a competition. So that's enlightening. Now we have a competition every day that's different. So every day we're going to go out there and say, okay, Jabari and I are going to go out there and do this, but it's not going to be the same thing we did yesterday. That just adds more benefits to us playing the game. And I think that's an awesome thing that you added.
Yeah, so the game progression, we have basically like bounties. So basically what happens is we randomly populate a set of bounties, and each bounty is associated with a biome and a boss. So even though you may have two crystal biomes, one of them may have a different boss. And so you get picked based off like risk and rewards that we show to the player. The player can choose which bounty he wants to pursue. So there's a lot of like variety, and again, like that's procedurally like generated and given to the player, as well as the level itself.
Yeah, we really wanted to focus on replayability. That was like the #1 thing when we started designing the game from the ground up. Is we wanted, even though like you may have played a level 10 times and you maybe even fought the same boss 5 times, you want the experience to be different every time. So we have a lot of like systems in place that sort of work with that underground that you may not really see at first, but you come to realize over time. Is like a lot of modifiers like speed, damage, health, and then we have elite modifiers too. So even though you've seen an enemy 5 times, on the 5th time you encounter it, it may be an elite type. So it could be like a fire enchanted pufferfish that shoots out fireballs, or a frost enchanted pufferfish, or a berserker pufferfish who gets stronger as he loses health. So we wanted that replayability, so that every time, like you said in Race to Sun, every time you play the game, it's fresh and it's new. And that's something we really want to aim for with our game.
That's nice. I have a quick question as well. Is there any online functionalities to this game?
Yeah, so we noticed you did mention that regarding multiplayer. So although it is a competition, we intended it for it to be a single-player competition. However, with that being said, we are at the very minimum. We're going to have like a scoreboard system so that you can compare and compete with your friends. And we really do want to put in a cooperative multiplayer in the future, but it's not a guarantee right now. We really have to wait and see what sort of hype we're getting around the game, what sort of success we're getting. And it seems like a lot of people want that, and it may be something we put in.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's cool.
Okay, go ahead, Ant.
No, I'll go with the online functionality. One thing that I love that PS4 uses is crossplay with the Vita. Would it be possible that we might see this game in the Vita as well and also get some type of crossplay with it?
We've considered the Vita. It's definitely a possibility. It really just depends on. To be honest with you, the game right now it's pretty heavy, processor intensive. So we'd have to. I'm the programmer, so probably unless you're technical, you probably don't care about stuff. But basically, we'd have to optimize the game. So it may come on the Vita. We don't know for sure yet. It's definitely something we'd like to do if we can do it, but there's no yes or no for sure right now.
Okay,
that's cool. Speaking of the development process of this game, okay, this is the PlayStation Nation, where the PlayStation Nation shall be televised. And I know this game is coming to the PS4, so I want to ask you guys, what is like the development process of developing your game on the PS4? Is it an easy process? Is it something that you had some hurdles with? Like, let us know what did you go through just creating this game on the PS4?
That is a great question, and I'm sure like for a lot of people it can be a lot of extra work. But we're actually using a game engine. It's called Unity. I don't know if any of the listeners out there are familiar with it, but Unity actually makes it very easy to port to multiple consoles. So we can make the same build and make it for PC and just make some tweaks, make sure we're doing things like following the trophy system, that kind of thing, and then make an export using Unity's engine. So it's really not as hard for us because we're using a Unity, which it really makes it something to make it for. But I can imagine for somebody that isn't using the Unity's game engine, we don't know it for. The other big hurdle is, making sure that we're doing everything up to PlayStation standards. We had to do some things with them and work some things out with PlayStation, but aside from that, it really hasn't been as much trouble for us as we thought it would be. Also, we're making the game to work with controllers, and controllers is a really big thing for us. So, we haven't had too much trouble regarding that. So.
Yeah, speaking of the controls and just being on PlayStation, are you guys using any of the features like from the DS4, interactive streaming, share play, any of those things is being considered?
We're still pretty early on. So we have thought about it, but we're not really sure yet. We're still building the core game itself. So more of those other features we're gonna consider once we get more into like beta.
Okay.
Are you guys? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying was so are you guys gonna have like maybe like a private beta to have some some gamers check it out and maybe give you guys some feedback on it?
Yeah, so we plan on releasing within the next month or so a public alpha that will be on PCs. I'm not sure if PlayStation has an early access program. I don't think they do. I know Xbox One does and Steam does, so we plan to pursue early access on those platforms. And if PlayStation comes out with one, we definitely plan to do that on that platform as well.
Yeah, on PlayStation, you guys need to come out.
Let it be known, PlayStation Nation.
I
I have a question in regards to the game releasing. Would it be a simultaneous release? Like, would it come on Steam first, or just all platforms first?
No, yeah, we're most likely going to release on Steam first, and then so we plan to release on Steam in early spring, and then in late spring we plan to get it on the PlayStation and Xbox.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question you can answer with just yes or no. I saw the first boss, the crack hammer, right? That was huge. Is this Titanfish that's the end game a lot bigger or a little bigger?
Yes, a lot bigger.
Oh man.
That's actually he's one of the elderfish, which is actually he's one of the smaller boss fish. So we actually have two other bosses programmed at the moment, and they're both significantly larger.
That's scary.
Yeah, we actually, when we prototyped the game originally, we sort of built it around the idea of like fighting this absolutely massive monster fish, and that's kind of what we want to go for. We actually are going to have it so that the bosses are going to be so big later in the game that the camera actually has to pan out for you to sort of see the boss and fight him. So that's kind of what we're going to be going with. Sort of spoiler alert. Sorry about that, but now you guys know.
Teasing us now.
For people that don't know, the crack hammer barely fits on the screen, if it fits at all.
That was a huge boss, and that was the first one, right?
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh, God. I wonder what the last boss looked like.
Man, that just gave me chills.
Yeah.
Huge.
But that's one thing I'm going back to the whole, pull apart their body parts. That's going to be really cool to do that when it comes to those huge bosses. Because I know I'm going right for it. I'm taking that thing out.
Yeah, one of the largest boss we have now for the desert biome. It's like it's almost essential to like rip. Like you basically have these long like what would you call them? Well, I guess claws, and it's like almost essential to like rip them out to get to the other parts of them. So the way the larger bosses work basically is because they're so big and they don't fit entirely on the screen at one time. Depending on what part of the boss you're around, his attack pattern, his different attack patterns depending on where you are around him.
Okay, cool. So you guys said this is going to be a difficult game. Is there going to be like a difficulty settings within the game, or is this going to be right from the boot up? We're going right into it.
Yeah, we're gonna have two difficulty modes: hard and then harder.
Whoa!
That's what I like. He said hard and then harder. No medium. He said hard or hard.
Nope. No, it's not gonna be easy or medium. Nope.
So creating AI like that, to make your game become difficult. Is that something hard to do, because you're constantly asking your questions? Can the gamer, fulfill this task of beating these enemies? Do you guys always ask yourself those type of questions while developing the AI?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's actually something we really had to work hard on to do right. I mean, it's believe it or not, it's not hard to make an enemy hard. However, it's hard to make an enemy hard and still fun. It's stupid if an enemy just flies off screen and hits you and kills you, right? Like, that's dumb. But at the same time, we want it to be fun and rewarding. So it's something we really focus on. So suppose an enemy flying in off screen, maybe he travels into the screen, right? And you have a little bit of time to wait for him to attack, but his attack's really fast and you have to react quickly. So we wanted it to make sure it was hard but still fun and beatable and enjoyable. So, yeah.
Another issue we had was not issue, but we had to make sure that when we're designing enemies for a biome that we have a lot of variety. So we always make sure that we have a projectile-based enemy, a melee-based enemy, so that way the player gets variety in each of the various biomes.
Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. Mr. Official, he has a really important question to ask you guys. I'm waiting for him to get right into it.
I got a few questions. Just one of them would be being up and coming devs and whatnot, indie devs. Would you say that it was hard to get your game noticed for like platforms like Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation 4? Was that somewhat of a task? Just being new up and coming devs and whatnot.
Well, okay, we can't go into this too much, but we did get a publishing partner, and they have helped us get on those platforms. It would have been much more difficult to do that without them. So that's one reason we have been able to it's been rather easy for us to do that. But in terms of getting like marketing other ways, like in building a community on Facebook or Twitter, that took us a while to figure out. It took us a while to figure out how Reddit works, how Twitter works, and to really cater our marketing to each of the various communities.
Yeah, I think you guys are doing me personally, I think you guys are doing a great job as far as the marketing, because I caught notice to you guys on Twitter like right away, and I was just like, well, what is this game? I went to the next one. I was like, this looks cool. I'm like, wait, I gotta interview you guys. You know what I mean? Let this game be known, and this other gamers to find out about this game. I think this is really an awesome game. But continue, Kev, go ahead.
Well, I just have like a lot of respect for like indie devs because I've interviewed a few before, and I understand the struggle and how hard it is to get your game just known, and the hard work that's put into these games. And being gamers yourselves, what would be some of the things you consider to be inspiring in regards to creating the games that you're making right now?
Let's see. I think what motivates us is just our desire. Like it's kind of cheesy me saying this, but our just desire to create things. We want to build and express our imagination and share with other people. It's kind of cheesy, but I think it's what kind of drew us all together to build something we can all insert ourselves into and share with other people.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. We actually I don't know how much you guys know about us, but just to fill you in a little bit, we're actually all recent UCF graduates, and a few of us had opportunities to go and work somewhere or do something else along those lines, and we just said, you know what, screw the paycheck. We really want to do something that we want to do and something we really believe in. And that's kind of what we came together, and we're really chasing after now. So, hoping it makes it.
Okay.
The question I have. I'm sorry, Kev, go ahead.
No, you fine.
Okay. The question I have was, with a lot of devs, a lot of them just come from different places. Are you guys like very close? Like you guys all live in the same place? Or are you guys like from different places in the U.S.?
Yeah, so we all attended the University of Central Florida in Orlando, Florida. So we went to school together. So one thing that we thought is very important. I know that there are some smaller teams that can work remotely, but for us, it's been extremely beneficial and motivating to work in the same physical space. So we do work in the same office location, same times and whatnot.
By office location, you're in a basement.
Yeah, by office location, I mean Sean's downstairs. But
It's okay.
We have our desk and a giant whiteboard, but that's all we need. So it gets the job done.
Yeah, that's
I respect that. Yeah, because in reference to what Ant was saying, like in regards to you all being close together, and there are some devs who work remotely. Like I remember, was it Team Meat for Super Meat Boy, and they work like I think 2 different cities or something like that. So I think that's pretty cool that you all are within reach and able to work together so well.
Yeah, we just found that it helps us. It's more motivating to work in the same physical space, and it's also more beneficial. It's easier for us to be like, hey, PJ, does art look good? Or hey, Sean, can you help me out with this bug? It's just easier to communicate and discuss while we're working, and it's just very productive to do that.
Yeah, I'm still shocked that it's just you 3 guys are working on this. That's commendable.
We did have an intern help us program for a little bit, and we also work with a composer and a sound designer.
Yes, but that sound what we hear on your website, is that the actual soundtrack that's going to be in the game? Because that sounds amazing.
No, that is actually not. We have a new a musician, and he's fantastic. He fits the game. We feel a lot better. I don't think I'm not sure if we have too much media with it out there, but when we do plan to, with the public alpha we plan to release next month, you'll get a taste of, all the sound design that our sound designers been working on, and the music and whatnot.
Okay, cool, cool. And because I'm listening to the music, I'm like, yeah, I like it. It got a little space theme to it. It's pretty cool. I like that kind of stuff. But we gotta hear the music first. So I'll wait till the alpha come on, then I'm gonna bash you guys a little bit.
All right.
But no, personal questions though, gaming questions though. Okay, you guys ready?
We're ready.
Each of you guys, I need to know what are your favorite games. Well, what is your favorite game of all time? Let's go with one.
Oh God. Okay. All right, Sean, you go first.
So this is for me is such a hard question because I have like a favorite game for every genre, but I just got done with The Witcher 3 and it just blew my mind. So right now, The Witcher 3.
Yeah, Witcher 3 is an amazing game. That's a hefty game as well.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, you think it's ending? No, it's not the end.
I'd have to go with League of Legends. I'm just a very competitive gamer.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh man, this is tough. I'm gonna go with my favorite indie game. But my favorite indie game is probably Faster Than Light. Like I've spent like so many hours on that. Like I don't know, it's such a unique game. Like I've never really played a game like that before, where it combines like this tactical and roguelike elements.
Okay, cool. So is that something that inspired this game as well with the roguelike stuff, or?
To some extent, yes. Yeah, the node system, our bounty system is kind of inspired by their node system in FTL.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I hear there's some good things about that game. Never played it though.
It's fantastic. It's like you're basically managing your own spaceship, and it's super nerdy. And if you like Star Trek or Star Wars, you're gonna love FTL.
Yeah, we have another member here, Courtney, Sarge. He'll go crazy right now if he's hearing you guys talking about FTL and all that.
Yeah, that's his stuff right there.
Yeah. But if anybody have any other questions to ask before we wrap it up or anything.
I have one question. It's kind of a hard question, but I just like to know, just from a developer's perspective, just how they feel about, I guess you could say, these sort of people. In regards to being, up and coming dev, how do you feel about, I guess you could say, a certain demographic of gamers who are a little bit more reluctant to try indie games? Does that affect like devs in any type of way?
That's actually a really great
closed-minded.
No, that's actually a really great question. I don't think I would use the word, I don't know if reluctant's the right word. I think a lot of people, and I honestly used to be in this demographic probably a couple of years ago, I think a lot of people just haven't been exposed to indie games. I think it's more the issue. Like a lot of people that have played a lot of the mainstream games, like you mentioned, like Call of Duties and Halos, if they had perhaps played or tried some of these indie games, they'd probably really like them and fall in love with them. So I think the issue is more getting the word out there to them and then them giving it a chance. I think that's...
Yeah, I think it's fair to say there's so many indie games out there. And because they don't have these like $1 million marketing budgets to throw it in their face, it's a little harder to market the game. We're essentially marketing on no budget. So I think like what Sean said, it's more about getting the word out to them.
And how we're trying to get the word out to them. It's like consoles used to have no indie games, so
Yes, they didn't.
it's a way. There was a whole group of players who never played indie games because they only played console games. So by getting on consoles, it's great exposure for indie.
Yeah, I like that as well. Especially I've been playing a lot of indie games with this PS4, even on Xbox One as well. And majority of them I've really enjoyed. You know what I mean? Sometimes more than the big blockbuster AAA games. And I just like the movement and the pace where games are just coming out constantly. You got the chance to try out so many games. Before you have to wait a month or two for that one specific game, but now it's just pumping out games, and everybody just getting to share their vision and what they want to create as a game. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. The indie like games industry is like so much diversity, and that's one reason we wanted to do indie, is because like just you have more flexibility. You have more wiggle room, more room for experimentation, and to try weird and new things.
That's
Yeah.
cool. With this game, with this new game you just got, Blacksea Odyssey. What's your end goal with this game? Like, where do you see it? Maybe like in a couple, like maybe like in a couple years from now. Like, what's your end goal for this game?
Okay, well, for the okay, after this game, assuming that's successful, we'll most likely work on a second version where we'll be able to implement all the things we didn't get to do in the first one, like having multiplayer where you compete in a competition with your friends or against your friends. So like right now we have very limited resources, so we can't add in all those things right now. But down the road, we want to be able to add in all those things. So having network multiplayer, or co-op, or competitive, or both, more levels, stuff like that. So that's what we would like to do down the road. If the game gets a lot of attention, it does very well.
Okay, definitely have that. And after this game, maybe after you guys release this game and it's been out for a while, do you guys think you guys maybe might work on something else as well?
Yes.
Make it,
Oh, we do. We all have our ideas, but we like made a rule that we're not allowed to like talk about other game ideas, because that's like a game developer's like biggest like hindrance. Is like you start thinking about another idea, and all of a sudden you start like working on the side, and all of a sudden your focus and your passion, it deviates from the project at hand. So we made like a rule that we're not allowed to think or talk about other game ideas.
okay, definitely. I definitely
respect
understand
that.
that. I definitely respect that.
That's a good rule.
That's a very
Yeah.
good rule.
Helped us so far.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
Right,
that way you don't get sidetracked.
Yeah, go ahead, Michi.
Here's my last one. I'm looking at the concept of the game, and I see the art style, and I see you playing it, and you get trapped up against the wall against the enemy. Then you say to yourself, I need to make these destructible environments that I can use against these bosses instead of being trapped against the bosses. Is that how that came about, or did you always plan to have destructible environments?
All right,
How did we come with it?
so actually, it ended up being like the coolest thing because of what you just said, which honestly was more of just an accident. Because really, it's so important now to use the structures to beat bosses and that kind of thing. But it really came about because of more of a technical reason. We didn't want to implement pathfinding originally. We ended up doing it anyway, by the way. But we didn't want to do it originally so that we could just have the fish chase directly at the player. So we said, why not just make everything destructible? And so we made everything destructible, and then we ended up adding in pathfinding anyway, so kind of defeated the purpose. So now it's just cool all around.
Yeah,
So
I guess it started as laziness then, yeah, and it kind of turned out to be a really good thing.
Oh, that's good. And a good job implementing the sonar. I just want to say that sonar's awesome.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, that took a while to finally get to that point, but when we did, we were pretty happy.
And that definitely gives you the whole C type mechanic in space. So
Yes.
definitely cool. But yeah, before we head out, I once again I appreciate you guys coming through and just badgering you with all these questions, but you guys seem very passionate about this game, and I really dig that a lot, because I can tell that you guys have some, a lot of love for this game, and I really hope for it to be successful on all platforms. But right now, I want you guys just to, what is the main reason for people to just go out and get this game and try it out? Sell people on this game right now.
Okay, I would have to say that. Okay, I think we all have our own like individual reasons, but mine personally is that I haven't really seen a multi-directional like shooter that implements roguelike elements. So you have like the Binding of Isaac, which is like top-down shooter, but it's not multi-directional. You're not controlling a ship or something like that. And you have Splunky. You have a lot of like platformers, but I think like a top-down shooter, multi-directional that with roguelike elements is pretty unique. That's probably what I think sells the game most.
I mean, and just real quickly, where else are you going to be able to get like a Path of Exile or Diablo level customization and then fight a boss that's going to be 5 times bigger than your screen and then rip its heart out by the end of your playthrough? So, if that doesn't do it for you, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
That's the point.
Right there, I'm sold. That was perfect.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you're looking at it and you just keep surprising you. You're like, wait, you can destroy the environments? Wait, you can rip them apart? Wait, you can customize your weapon? Wait, there's just more and more things for you to do. So that's a huge selling point, is that the huge variety of things you can do, and all the mechanics that we added into it.
Amazing, man, amazing. But yeah, like I said, once again, I really appreciate you guys coming through. Let the people know where we can contact you. You know, get information about the game. I know you guys went over this already, but let us know again what platforms is coming out, and do you have like a window of when it's coming out?
Yeah. So first off, thank you so much for speaking with us. We had a lot of fun doing this interview. Sometimes it's a little odd or unflu, but this was an awesome interview. Thank you so much for having us. So you can follow us anywhere pretty much. So we have a Facebook slash Blacksea Odyssey, Twitter slash Blacksea Odyssey. Then our main website where you can subscribe to our newsletters, where we post weekly development blog updates, and that's just www.blackseaodyssey.com. And the game is coming out on Steam or PC. It'll be on other distribution platforms for PC as well. It'll be on Windows, Mac, Linux, and that'll be in early spring. And it'll be out on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 in late spring. We don't have an exact date yet, but you can expect around late spring.
Okay, cool. That's cool, man. Well, once again, thank you. These are the guys from Blacksea Odyssey. Go check them out. This game looks amazing. They have a trailer up there. They show you the development process and all that good stuff. Thanks everybody for tuning in. The council, the first interviews in the books, and we gone.
Support indie devs. They are the developers of tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Deuces.
Thank you.